Hey, Conceptual BJJ back here. Today we're going to be doing a guard pass concepts video for you. So some details about how to pass guards and guard passing concepts to help you get past their legs and initiate your guard pass. So basically it's going to be the guard retention video in reverse, so reverse engineering. So what is the person on bottom looking to do? There's two main open guards. So we're talking about open guard. There's two main positions the guy can be in: sitting or on his back, which is supine, right? So if John's sitting, the benefits of this position is that he's more mobile. He can move a lot better, and he can defend his legs by attacking grip. So if I'm trying to grab his legs, his arms are closer to grab mine. If John's on my back or I put him on his back, the benefit of this position is John's going to have a harder time engaging with me. I can control the distance a little better as far as initiating the contact, because if John tries to scoot towards me, he has to sit up to scoot towards me. If he's on his back, right, he has to first sit up. And he has to be careful too, because if he sits up, he can be vulnerable as he's sitting up, and I can start passing, initiating my pass. So he has to be careful even sitting up. I can also go for front headlocks, rolling, chokes and stuff like this at higher levels. So what I like to do as a guard passer is to put them on their back. For my preference, I think they're less mobile and you're able to move around them easier. So my first goal is to put them on their back. So if John's sitting, one of the ways I like to do that is by circling. So if I step straight in, he's going to get connected to me. And I don't want him to initiate the connection on his terms. So let's move back here so I can be a little bit more in frame. So I don't want to initiate the guard on his terms. So one of the ways I want to do that is to either get inside position or start flanking him on the outside. So I'm going to stay, so I don't want where you have both my legs here. So if you're standing, you want to be far enough back to where you can't get to your legs, right? Preferably. There's different ways to approach it, but if I'm standing, I'm more mobile, so I can move side to side. A lot of people will play seated to where if the guy's good at leg locks or getting to your legs, this is a good option, because now it's really hard. If he's trying to get to my legs, I can lower my head and I can keep him from getting to my legs if he's good at leg locks. So if John's like trying to get to my legs, he can grab my legs. He can play half guard in a lot of these other games if you're standing. So that's a good option if you want to just keep people from getting to your legs. For guard passing, I like to stand because it keeps me more mobile and I can flank the person and get to the position I want to a little bit easier. You just have to be wary of not stepping too close. So one of the concepts here is if John scoots in a little bit. Some of the things I want to keep in mind if I'm passing from standing is I never want to give him both my legs. So if I'm standing in a square stance, I need to make sure my legs are back to where he can't reach them. If he can reach my legs, he can do a simple sweep or start getting me off balance by doing a dummy sweep where he puts both ankles behind and pushes my knees or my hips, and now I'm like off balance, and he can follow that up with attacks, right? So I want to make sure I take a stagger stance if I'm close enough to where he can grab me, right? So first concept, you want to control the distance. You don't want to just step in and let them engage how they want to engage. You want to make sure you're getting to the positions that you want to get to. So you can either step around the outside, getting him circling. Notice he opens his legs when he circles, right? So if I'm stepping to the side and he opens his legs, I can now step in and start putting him on his back. So one of the best ways I like to get him on his back, which is like the first phase or concept in guard passing is like to get him on his back, is I like to use like a shoulder post, and as soon as I can grab his foot, put him on his back. I think that's one of the best ways. Sometimes if I just lift his leg, he just kicks it free or stomps it down. You can also just kick it free here. If I push here, sometimes he can arm drag me, like we talked about. So I like to do it at the same time. If I just go straight forward, he's expecting it. So that's why I step to the side. So as he moves, I grab it and I put him on his back. So once John's on his back, here, you have two ways to pass. The main thing, you can go inside. We're using these inside positions. We'll talk about more specific passes in other videos. But I'm using my legs to get inside of his frames, basically. I don't want his feet on me. So this is step number 2, is getting past his frames. So the first phase of this is getting past his feet, right? His feet are going to be in the way. The second phase is getting past his knees, right? He can use his knee, he can knee shield, and I have to get past these frames. The way that I'm going to get past frames is frames only work in one direction. Like if John's framing me here, it only works in this direction. If I turn this way or this way, the frame doesn't work, right? So the same thing with guard. I can either redirect him or move myself. So when I put John on his back, first thing I'm looking to do is he's probably going to grab me or keep connected. Yeah, so I want to make sure that I can control distance by keeping his feet off me. I'm going to try to get closer to him. A lot of people make the mistake of trying to go to the upper body and hugging the head too early. But if I go too early, he can off-balance me a lot easier if I'm trying to get to his upper body. So make sure you go one step at a time. First I address the legs, then I address the knees, and then I go to the hip, then the head. So it depends on what pass you're using, because you have inside passes where I go inside his legs, and then I have outside passes. And it can get kind of complicated, but for this video, we're just trying to keep it simple. So here, I'm going to circle. I'm going to try to put John on his back so quickly. I'm going to tap him, lift his leg. You can either step in here, and I'm going to make sure his feet stay off me. So I step over to the headquarters, or if you don't want to give them leg, you're an outside passer, you can put him on his back here. And now I'm going to put pressure into John. I'm pressuring his frames the whole time. A lot of people make this mistake. When I circle around, I give too much space. And now he can circle, he can frame, he can recover guard. So I'm going to pressure his frames. So I'm pushing his knees to his chest. So anytime I move, he has less chance to escape, and I can go around his frames easier. So a good way to think about it, because we talked about keeping our knee and elbow frames, right? The best way to go around those knee and elbow frames, if I can't get inside, is if I start to pass John, he has good knee-elbow connection. It's probably not the pass to this side, right? Like if I'm here, when he's framing me, I'm not going to be able to get inside. I have to do one of two things, right? Even if I pass his legs, I have to do one of two things. I'm not going to get in this space if he has good knee and elbow connection here. So I'll have to go north-south. So I'll be here, and I'll come to north-south, right? Like this. The other option that I use a lot is going to his back side. So remember to pressure his frame. If I just step back, he's going to follow me, right? So something I like to do is come here. I'm keeping this planted, and I'm going to move myself to this side here. Now I can start to take his back and get the side control. I don't know, it's not going to happen that easy in a real match, but it has to be like a quick movement, especially in no gi, where I'm just going side to side and keeping pressure the whole time though. A lot of people will go here and they back out and they come in. They back out and they come in. You don't want that. I'm keeping pressure on his frames the whole time. So I'm trying to push his heels to his butt and trying to get him to one side so that I can go to the other side. When he starts to face me or recover, here, as he starts to recover his guard, I'm going to come back over and I'm going to switch to this side. So the third concept is to get to half guard if you're having trouble passing it and start working inside position. I've been working on this a lot too. It's a slower, more pressure game, but it's another option you can add to your skill set. So when I'm passing John, if he has really good guard and he's following me when I go side to side, and he's staying on his side and I can't get past his legs, here, a lot of times I can just drop down into a half guard and trap his leg in half guard. So I'm going to pin one leg to the mat. I'm going to step my knee to his hip like this. And now I can start pressuring and start trying to pass from half guard. Sometimes I'll switch between tight pressure to loose pressure again if he's good at framing and I can't get inside. If I can, I try to pummel in to be able to beat these knees. If he has like a butterfly, it can be really hard to pressure past this. So I'm not going to be able to get to his head in an underhook. What I want to do is go to his back side, but I'm still going to pressure. So I'm going to pressure him. And even if he has good frames here, I can back up, I can put pressure, and I can switch sides and start working to his back. I can start going here. passing or getting to his back. All right, so these are some really good guard passing concepts that have helped me. Hope it'll help you guys. Remember, first phase is to get them on their back. I like to circle, leg, and shoulder post to get them on their back. Once they're on their back, you need to clear each phase, being their legs, knees, then get to their hips, then their head preferably. Obviously, these are a lot of variants if you like the inside pass versus outside pass, but you want to make sure that you're clearing their legs so they're not able to get leverage on you. And when you're pressuring, you want to make sure to pressure their frames. Remember, frames only work in one direction. You can go around, their frames. Always try to go to their backside if you can, if you're outside passing especially. And last concept, if you're having trouble passing on the outside, a lot of times they open up that half guard position. You see Gordon Ryan use this a lot in his passing, and some of the new wave and some of the good guys use it at the high levels. They get to the half guard, they pin the leg to the floor and start working half guard position where they work on their hip and then up to their head. That's another slow pressure game that can be an option for you that you can play around with as well. All right, hope you like this video. Let us know what you like to see. We'll see you guys soon in the next video. Thank you.